Saturn is in the 10th house. So what does it mean to have Saturn in the 10th house? Well, the 10th house, first of all, is the outside world, is the world of achievements, is, basically it's the highest house. Actually, if you're using Western astrology chart, which I also teach Western astrology, but I just use a different type of chart. If you're using the circular chart, Saturn will be here, will be indicated like that. That Saturn is in the 10th house, So, the 10th house, as you see, if this is the horizon, the circular chart shows it better. This is the horizon, this is the east of the horizon. The 10th house is the highest, the point where the sun reaches the highest point during the day. And if you're born when Saturn was highest in the sky, it means that this is what you'll be, one of the things that you'll be most visible and known for Saturnian things. So basically your image will be quite Saturnian. Even if you're very happy, easy, free, loving, going people by your close ones, the outside world will see your Saturnian qualities, which are more reserved, which are more aloof, which are a bit more distant, This is the reputation that you leave, the name and memory you leave behind you, the great things that you achieve in life that you're known for. And they'll be of more Saturnian nature. And Saturnian nature is more restrained, more constrained, more serious. When there was when the Gauquelin brothers made an investigation of 30,000 charts, I think most of the scientists had Saturn around the 10th house, around the top of the area of the horoscope here. Because Saturn is the planet of the scientist, of the serious, of the researcher who digs deep, the philosopher who thinks very deep. So such people might have a bit of a more forbidding reputation, a bit of a more forbidding, image towards the outside world. And often such people, even when they become bosses or, because such people usually achieve a lot, but later in life, I'll talk about that a bit later, they are noticed by others like a bit more, daunting and aloof figures, even though by their personal people, but the other houses show like personal relationships and things like that. They might know them to be loving and kind and sweet. But otherwise, what the world sees is very Saturnian. And the legacy that you leave, the great things that you achieve, this 10th house, are very Saturnian as well. More conservative, more scientific, more philosophical, more kind of bureaucratic, where you have to climb the ladder. 10th house shows the achievements of the world and your career. Mostly, your biggest achievements in your career usually. And Saturn has delaying influence. Because Saturn is a karmic planet, it shows where you made mistakes in a past lives, you kind of abused the energy, or you misused it, you were given opportunities, you didn't use them in the correct way. So in this lifetime, the fruits of the house where Saturn is, in this case the 10th house of career and achievement, are delayed in your life. So you can learn to appreciate it. So you can work much harder for these things. And when you work much harder in next incarnations, or even still in this one, you appreciate it, and next time when you have opportunities, you make more of yourself. Usually such people in past lives were suppressed in their ability to express themselves through career, or they made some abuses there, or they were given power and they misused that power, because the 10th house is the house of the king, the boss, the one that controls everything on the top, And Saturn shows that you made mistakes there, or that you were a victim of such control and abuse in past life of such figures. Depends, if Saturn is weak, it usually means that you were suppressed. Saturn is weak in fire signs, in water signs, but if Saturn is strong in earth and air signs, usually, it means that you abused your... it means that you actually were more, more powerful figure. You had control in past life. But also it shows the father figure, because the 10th house is the bosses, the people who we look up to, who we kind of, who had control over our life. The boss in our young age is the father. So often the father in early age in particular can be quite a daunting figure, a bit aloof, or very strict, or very disciplinarian. Or the father, in the best case scenario, has taught the child a discipline of work. The father, with his own example, working hard, being very self-controlled, self-disciplined, achievement-oriented, goal-oriented, slowly, step by step, teaches the child not to slack, to put a lot of effort and everything to achieve it, which helps the child achieve, later on, the person achieve a lot of things in their life. But in the worst case scenario, when Saturn is badly placed in a difficult sign with difficult aspects, it can be a father who was even missing, or who was very aloof, who was sometimes oppressive, who was kind of suppressing the child, who was restricting the movements of the child, even undermining the confidence of the child in its ability to act. And the child might feel very fearful later on in age, or even if it's not the father, it might have been one of the parental figures in life, or maybe very strict teachers, or such atmosphere of more oppression while the child was growing up. But usually how does it manifest in life is that later on the achievement, the person is more fearful about going out into the world, the big bad world, and achieving things there. So usually a person has to work very hard. These achievements in life and success in life is delayed, especially in the career. Usually such people only start getting having some recognition in their career after 30 or 35. Even before that, some of them, you know, might feel like blocked in the career sector, might feel like they're shortchanged, or they might feel like it's so much hard work. And usually where Saturn is, you always give much more from yourself, and you receive little by little, piecemeal, piece by piece. You cannot have sudden promotions and sudden, you know, you're working as a manager in the company and all of a sudden becoming a CEO or something. If you only work your steps slowly, Saturn is about perseverance, repetition, hard work, then you can get. Such people can achieve a lot, they can succeed a lot in life, but later in life, in the second part in life, in their 40s, 50s, 60s, they can be put in position of a lot of recognition and high positions when they have to control and lead others, because the 10th house is the house of the leader, but they worked their ass for that position. It didn't come to them. And through perseverance and hard work, and it gives best results, especially if the Saturn is in Libra, Aquarius, or Capricorn. It gives the best results. And such people always achieve very high social status later in life, after 30, 35, through a lot of hard work. They're like incarnation of Saturn, those people with Saturn in those three signs, with the incarnation of the best quality of Saturn: perseverance, hard work, seriousness, respectability, pillars of respectability. While when Saturn is in other signs, it can give more difficult results as well, like a bit more of delays, or a bit more lack of self-confidence in their ability to achieve, lack of self-confidence in and sometimes even pure dejection, states of pure dejection and despair, and the breakdown period. Sometimes people can go into breakdown period, where Saturn is, you can go into breakdown periods, and such people can just feel totally, they try to, you know, while they're trying to compensate for this fear of the world and for this fear of what the world can do, and the fear of their own actions, they try to control a lot in their life. They can try to control their circumstances. They can try to, you know, like to tell everyone what to do, or to try and foresee every event in their life and be very cautious and make sure that everything they've prepared, everything, so nothing goes against their plan or not according to plan, because they're so fearful of unexpected changes in the world and unexpected something, you know, happening that they haven't foreseen. And the breakdown period is that they can lose control and feel totally dejected. But usually, as I said, over age, people work through this more difficult position of Saturn, and they tend to gain positions of authority, positions of higher status and achievements, and to the outside world, they look like very successful. They look like they have it all. While those people, only they know how hard they've worked for that. For them, it was just hard work getting there. For them, it's not glamorous. They were not aiming for the glamour of it. They were just succeeded through sheer perseverance. And also the 10th house shows how you approach, how you try to achieve your goals. And usually Saturn shows slowly but surely, step by step, and with respect about conventional requirements, about conventional, and the person with Saturn in the 10th house uses in his actions conventional and tested methods. They're not going to go and try experimenting with crazy new styles. They'll try to reach the top, or to do the best that they can through methods that are tested, conventional, tried, old. You know, this is what Saturn is. Unless, of course, there is maybe another more rebellious planet in the 10th house as well, like Uranus or the Sun there, which is much more of a leader, creative intelligence and the like. But if it's only Saturn, you know, surely, slowly, conventional ways, through working hard, through getting the right education, you know, through getting through all the steps there. They're usually respected bosses. They put like fear and respect in others. They might not be very liked because of the aloofness of Saturn, but more common people tend to like people with Saturn in the 10th house. More like, not the vulgar, but more like the plebeians, because Saturn has this kind of is not like a posh planet, doesn't want to portray to the world poshness and grandeur and in any way, you know, in your face demonstrative behavior. This is what the Sun can do. But Saturn there is humble and hardworking, and even when they have a lot of achievements, they might be a bit distant, but the kind of, they have an appeal for the general public, for the common person, you know. Because because usually they work their way through the lower places of life with a lot of hard work. When Saturn is on an angle in the 10th house, always people work harder and they have more obstacles in their life, but they tend to achieve in the material life also as well, more through pushing harder, also in always in the second part of life. And also they might have some kind of fears, you know, especially in the first 30-35 years of their life, concerning their realization, their fear of leadership as well, you know, fear of losing their privacy, because Saturn, believe it or not, when it's in the 10th house, kind of makes you a public figure, but such people are more private people. They might not love it particularly well, you know. And usually they get careers which, as I said, more traditional. Then how shows what kind of career you have and how you approach it with traditional method, more regulated, maybe in some kind of climbing the ladder bureaucracies or regulatory environments and institutions, or you know, the culture of, what is it called, corporate culture as well is very good for them, because they have this respectful energy and hardworking energy around them, which you know, which makes business people want to be around them and succeed in business. But anyway, this is for you. Thank you so much, and please share your opinions.